Look, man, I know we stood up here so many times, but this time you're actually on our show, bro.
Your bar's firme, Holmes.
My bar is, yeah, you see, because I went to the liquor store beforehand just to find out it was closed. Do you bring a lighter, be real? I usually ask this on your show.
That's what I was about to ask him.
Didn't?
Somebody throw a lighter up here, please.
Oh, man, I can't believe I don't have it. It's a whip.
Look, our sponsor,
I know you got lighters.
Bzzt Woods, he always rolls blunts for everybody, right?
I've heard this.
Yeah, and there's pre-rolls and shit, and but this is the one time he probably went to his dude in the back and was like, "Hey, dude, like I need you to roll some fucking joints. Like his B-roll's coming on the show, and like he don't really be smoking the backwoods."
And I appreciate that.
So shout out to one of our sponsors, fucking Bzzt Collective. I got you, Nels.
Word.
All right, B-roll. So you're here after hours, dog. Have you ever watched our show? Like all the crazy shit that we do?
Once or twice, yeah.
You ever get offended? You're like, man, I'm gonna talk to these guys afterwards.
Offended by you guys?
Not offended, but like you're just like, man.
Disgusted.
Disgusted? Well, I'm disgusted by you guys every day. So, what's one little show?
It's like Greenthumb after dark here sometimes.
That's
we didn't want to take it up a notch and bring the whole bartender and everything like that because it gets really loud in here.
That's all right. We're here now.
But we got a couple questions, dog. There's probably some questions that people don't really ask you.
I would figure that you guys would have those questions.
Yes.
Probably just because we get to kick it with you a lot, so we kind of know all the basic stuff that people would ask you that don't really get in an interview.
True that.
Shiki, you want to start it off right away?
Yeah,
I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, I know that. All right. Please, Shiki, go ahead.
What's it feel like to get shot?
That's a pretty good question, dude.
Did you shit your pants?
I got to tell you, that is a pretty good question because, no one ever asked that. No, I didn't shit my pants.
Okay. I would have.
A lot of people would have, and had I been shot somewhere else, I might have shit my pants. But on this particular occasion, I did not. I've been shot at many times, but that particular time I got hit, and I was hit up in where could I say? Like right up in here, right?
That's a pretty tight spot.
It ricocheted off the wall, entered here, and it was a hollow point. So when it hit, it felt like a Charlie horse in that part of the body because there's like, muscle there. And
a hollow point off what bullet? I mean,
22 hollow point. 22 hollow point. And, it punctured a lung. And one piece went by my spinal cord and one by my heart. Now, I was at Killer King Hospital.
Damn.
And I know you know about Killer King Hospital, but the mortality rate there was very fucked up at the time. So when they asked me if I wanted them to operate and try to take the bullet fragments out, I said, no, thank you.
Yeah, motherfuckers die from scratches.
Motherfuckers die from a scratch over there. So I declined.
So it's still in there?
So I still got the bullet fragments there. And every now and then when I go for my checkups and, x-rays, my doctor, who, doesn't have a great memory apparently, hey, what are these? These look like bullet well, they are, Doc.
Do they rattle when you jump rope?
No, I haven't done that. But when it gets really cold, like if I'm out on the East Coast or some very cold climate, I'll feel like the little nerve damage on where the bullet ripped through.
So it was it was fucked up your last tour, like when you were out in
I was layered up, so I didn't feel it as much. But when you're not prepared for the cold and you don't layer up, yeah, you definitely feel that nerve damage. You feel the little needles.
Damn, what a fucking question to start off with.
So a Charlie horse.
Good question. Felt like a Charlie horse. Now, somewhere else you might get shot. It might not feel like that, but where I got shot right there, there's a lot of meat, so it felt like a Charlie horse. But I heard
it feels hot.
It didn't feel hot. At least not that I remember.
Yeah, how old were you when that happened?
I think I was 16 years old.
Fuck,
16.
Damn, 16 years old.
Yep.
Somebody hated you that much at 16, huh?
I was a gangbanger, man.
Those them times, they were crazy.
If you were in the other neighborhood,
that was the trend, bro.
If you were in the other neighborhood or they were in yours, that's what was subject to happen. You know what I mean? So I caught mine. Fortunately, I made it through that. You know what I'm saying? And here I am today.
Not too many people do, dog.
No, not especially not a hollow point, because that's the bullet that separates.
It causes damage
on impact, and it bounces around in your body. I was lucky enough that it didn't do a lot of bouncing. You know what I'm saying? That's very lucky. All praise due.
Man, you all right. On another
note,
thank
you God. Thank you God.
We love you.
Love you God.
Hey, on a whole nother point, you just finished Bong Appetit, which is out now on Viceland.
True this.
And I gotta ask you. I mean, I'm gonna ask you about Bong Appetit and certain meals, but who rolls better, dog? Now that Pedro is here,
are you saying who rolls better, my joint supervisor or you?
Yeah, bro, because I think that it is I call bullshit on that little all these tags Pedro's getting. I'm commenting right after every single one. I check his page every hour, and I'm like, yo, check out this new fucking competition we did.
Said I beat the joint supervisor. I should be joint supervisor. Well, look, you guys are both talented rollers. You know what I'm saying? You're a little bit better on the clock than Pedro is, but when the clock's off and you guys are just rolling at your own time, sometimes, Pedro rolls, perfect joints and you roll broken finger joints. But, in competition, you seem to step it up, so you're better under pressure.
Yeah, bro, you hear that, Pedro? Where it counts.
Well, does it really count?
Yeah, it does count. It was filmed. It was documented.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
It is a competition. It is a competition.
Yeah, his tech didn't deserve to be on there. All right, so so Bong Appetit, you're kind of like what would you say, a food critic?
No. I'm the host, and
okay.
Vanessa Lavarado and Chef Miguel Trinidad, they're the judges. I'm the host, and I kind of judge, but
so you're like the Ryan Seacrest right there.
Yeah, I kind of give my opinion on the meals and stuff like that, and I get to try it along with them. But they're the judges, and then we bring in a guest judge too.
Every episode was a special guest.
Yeah, mostly.
Which one was your favorite episode?
You're right over there.
Damn, C-. What's
up? That's that bzz.
Fuck, dude. It's like it's smoking a blunt. You should be used to that half of the tobacco.
Hey, shut up.
So what were you saying?
I was saying, out of all the special guests that you had throughout the season, do you have a favorite episode where you were just like, fuck, this one was like pretty lit? Because you had a good variety. You had, Nori, Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, they were all fun, man, and they were all fucking lit.
George Clinton. He ate a weed leaf with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy is that we're getting high up there in their treehouse, watching the chefs do their thing, and then we have to come try the food, which is totally infused. And sometimes, when they're new chefs, they use a lot of THC.
It's like fancy, high and hungry.
But it was a great experience because there's a lot of dope chefs out there, man, that just took a natural fucking way about it. They didn't over season anything with the cannabis, so they didn't fuck you up too heavy. I mean, the only way you got fucked up too heavy is if you ate all three meals that they would bring, which was the appetizer, the entree, and the dessert.
Hell yeah.
So if you tried to eat all those things from all three competitors, yeah, you were going to be fucking smashed out of your mind.
So what'd you do? You just took little bites of everything?
Well, see, that's the thing. On some days, we tried a lot of all three of their shit because, it was that good. There was a few episodes where those people made some really, really good shit, and it was hard not to eat more of it. And with it infused in everything, because the way that they infused it, it added to the flavor and didn't make it funky or weird, it was actually really good. These folks are gonna if you follow their recipes and what they made, and you did it at home, you'd fucking be surprised. You'd be like, damn, this shit tastes amazing.
Now, was there any food that you didn't like? Like, damn, this shit is trash.
Was there any food I didn't like? No, not to be honest with you. No, everything was pretty good. I mean, there was one time we had to eat what was it, duck,
You don't like duck?
Nah, I can't fucking.
Is that shit chewy?
I don't dig that.
No,
Yeah.
la carne de pato?
No.
That's a double meaning.
Chinga la pato. Pato. No, I don't fuck with that. You know what I mean? But if I had to judge it off of flavor and not texture, it was good. You know, I ate it. I tried it because, I mean, you know, as the co-host, you have to. But
Did you like that shit?
it was okay.
Like that shit?
I wouldn't have had it again, but I'm saying it was good. But I tell you, like 99% of the meals were fucking off the chain. And the desserts were just fucking ridiculous.
I was fortunate to come in towards the end, you know, like just to come start hanging out, and there was a lot of food there. Sometimes I got to try some, you know, some of the stuff that was available there. And I mean, did you not like did you get everybody's, like, every chef's contact info? Because like me, I would have been like, look, man, especially like me being like, if I was B-Real, I'd be like, look, gotta come over here once a week. Let me just check out your cooking. Just start.
Oh yeah, I could reach out to any one of those people. It's just that, you know, not everybody was from L.A.
Oh, that is I didn't think about.
You know, there was folks from New York, folks from, you know, the Midwest. I mean, they came from all over. But they were all fucking dope, man. Everybody had a dope dish to present. It was hard coming up with winners a lot of the times, just because, you know, they were all so good.
What about desserts? Like, none of them stood out to you? Like,
man. Yeah, it's hard to point out one. It's hard to point out one because some of them were some of the chefs specialized in dessert. So it was just fucking, and that was the hardest part, not to eat all the dessert.
Yeah, I know you got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, man.
You have to hold back.
Yeah, I had to hold back.
Be buying those ice cream Snicker bars here?
Sometimes, not all the time. Don't make it seem like it's all the time.
Like they're available by boxes in the freezer.
Sometimes, dog. Not all the time.
Look, he's like, man, my trainer's watching, man.
It's all right. There's cheat days. I only have one.
How hard? how hard was it, like, that? You know, you having to work out the next day, because, you know, you stay fit and, you know, you like to, you know, stay active and shit. So, like, a lot of people don't really know that when you do these food shows, and, you know, because me and Shiki do High and Hungry, and you kind of have to just have this, like, strict regimen to really stick by and sweat out all the food. Did you have to step it up for this time?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, because some of it is based off of, like, healthy, clean eating, and some of it is on cuisine. And cuisine isn't necessarily always like the, you know, the low calorie type of shit that I normally be on when, you know, I'm not doing something like that, you know, because you're trying to stay fit and trying to, you know, when you do shows at 1:30, you know, from night to night.
Meal prepping, you know, like every.
Yeah. So with that, yeah, you know, to compensate a little bit of extra time in the gym or an extra day, you know what I mean, rather than having, you know, X amount of days off, you know, add another workout day, or you just add more to the workout days that you do have, you know, and try to watch the meals in between those. But I mean, they were all good. But and that's the thing, though, like it doesn't get out of hand because, one, they're making like gourmet type dishes, right? And when you have those, they're not as big. Like, if you go to certain restaurants, every portion is fucking huge, right? Yep. Yeah. They're making smaller portions. You know what I mean? So it's not that much shit.
Like tapas?
Yeah, well, no, a little bit bigger than that. I'm just saying, it's like if you go to a high-end restaurant, sometimes, you know, you order this fucking expensive plate, and this little bit of each portion on the, you know, each part of the dish is
like
kind of
like Nobu?
It's kind of small. It's like a model's dish, you know,
Yeah.
like what you'd think a model would eat, you know, how much the
It's like
portion.
bird food,
Yeah.
right?
It's like that much. It's never like an abundance of food on the fucking plate. So, you know, especially, you know, we're eating just a little bit of it rather than eating the whole fucking plate. So it's not that bad. But yeah, to sweat that shit out, yeah, for sure. You know, stay.
If I were to be eating like steak and stuff like that, I mean, it's hard, man. Like, if I go eat like fine dining, especially like Pacific dining card, man, that's a good portion of food, man.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
old
they
steak.
did. They did a different version too, like vegan, a vegan episode as well. Where everything was, slightly different like that. But because they're trying to show people the options of how you can prep food at home for a dinner party of people that want to consume like a recreational style, or for people who don't necessarily smoke or vape or whatever, and they want to consume for a medical reason via consumption, eating a meal. This gives you different options on what you could make it with, what you could pair it with, and all that stuff. So it's a pretty good education tool, like when you could see what mixes with what, like what flavors go with what,
Yeah,
so
they matched it down to like the profile, like terpenes and everything. That's like dice. When I overheard, whenever they would do like certain foods, they would just pair it with like certain flavors of weed, and it would complement.
Yes,
a lot of people don't really think that's that deep about food and weed.
But it exists though. It exists if you pair the right shit with the right meal, with the right strain with the right meal, you could definitely tell the flavor profile in there. And you'll feel it. So I mean, I know I felt it. The first 3 episodes, we were fucking smashed at the end of them. That's when we learned we had to pace ourselves, because the food is so good. There wasn't like there isn't a person who's not a chef there, like that they're a first time chef. The whole premise was to get experienced chefs and to see if some of them have worked with cannabis and those that haven't, and it's all about them making an experience with their culinary skills and cannabis infused into it. Like, what is their go-to dish? Like, in the end, everybody makes their go-to dish. What's the one that fucking makes the room go damn? And it's about them doing a couple of challenges and that dish infused with cannabis. And some of them hit it on the mark, man. I got to tell you, that shit is it's interesting because now I know what I could make at home if I wanted to infuse some shit.
Do you cook?
Yeah, I do.
What do you cook?
Whatever.
I like how she just asked that right away. He's like, "What do you cook?"
Whatever.
You don't cook Cuban food at home?
I could cook whatever.
You cook
Speaking of cooking, have you ever cooked crack?
That I did not cook. That is one thing I did not cook. I could cook that, but no.
Word.
That is one thing I did not cook. No. I cooked up schemes and plans.
You gonna tell us your first rapper name, bro?
No.
What was your pop locking name?
See, that's a good hint right there, because that would have been the first rap name, because that's like it was when just in the b-boy days.
Yeah.
Before we were making music and shit like that, when we was getting into rapping, because it's always a progression. You either pop or break dance, then you get into DJing, or you do all those things and then get into the graffiti shit and all that stuff.
Did you try tagging?
Nah, I never tried tagging. I wasn't really.
You just crossed out, motherfuckers?
I didn't even do that. I didn't do that. I had respect for other motherfuckers' art. If I couldn't do it, I wasn't gonna fucking shit on it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no.
I mean,
you're gonna have to do your homework, Chief.
you paint on your free time.
Yeah, I mean, I
would have thought you would have been like, fuck this, I'm gonna try tagging, man.
Nah, I never. But by the time tagging came up real big, I was already like doing shit with the music and stuff like that. And besides that, I would have been more into graffiti as opposed to tagging. Like, I would have been trying to do the art shit in real
abstract shit.
Yeah, or something. But I didn't have time for that shit. So now, I'll paint every now and then.
Is that one of the? Because a lot of people don't really. I bet because we see you every day, so like we kind of know it's like, oh, this bureau does this kind of on his spare time.
Yeah.
Like what do people like? What the fuck? People don't know what Dr. Greenthum does in his spare time. Is that you just do art, you paint at home? Is that one of those things?
Sometimes I'll do art.
Is it just on canvas, or like have you like tried something else?
No, just on canvas for right now. I'm just, trying to get it down. When I was a kid, I was into it, but I sort of let it go. So I'm just, trying to reintroduce myself to it and all that shit.
Did you ever have art by Greenthum?
Possibly, if I get, yeah, I think so.
It's like that epic picture, but it's just like 4 thumbs in different colors.
Yep, I'll put fucking 4 different,
4 different thumbs of green.
Fucking do some epic thumb shit.
You should though, because I mean, the couple of pangs that you've brought here, I mean, they're pretty good.
I got one.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, they're pretty good, Dick. Just take the fucking compliment.
Thank you, sir. Right on.
Oh man.
Let me get the lighter, dude.
Well, Shiki definitely has a way to do it. So there's a couple of questions that I opened up the place for people to ask questions and shit.
Word.
And some of the fans have asked questions, and these are very easy probably, but they don't know.
Okay.
So somebody says, if you had to smoke flower or oil for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
If I what?
If you had to choose between smoking flower or oil for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Flower.
Fuck yeah.
All day.
Would it be a specific strain if you had to choose?
Would it be a specific strain?
Yeah.
Damn,
If you had to choose one?
That's hard because there's so many good ones, man. But, I'm an OG smoker from day one, so it would have to be OG. Because, the other stuff it would taste good, but it wouldn't get me as high.
All right, there goes your question, Nalasem, or whatever whatever your name is. Macadelic is the next question. He says, from Psycho Realm to Cypress Hill, which one had the most crowd with the most desmadre?
Cypress Hill, all day.
Damn, there you go. You heard
Psycho Realm has some crazy crowds, no doubt about it. But in the heyday, Cypress Hill crowd were as crazy as a punk rock show and a metal show mixed in one with grimy ass hip hop. It was pretty crazy. People get fucked up in Cypress Hill mosh pits and stuff like that. I used to get in them from time to time, so I know. But they're both fucking crazy. But I would say Cypress Hill's mosh pits were crazier.
Hey, what was your first show like for Cypress Hill?
What was the first show like?
Yeah, like the early ones. Like, how were the crowds?
There was no big crowd or crazy mosh pits.
It was
like how did people react to your music? Like, were they like, "What the fuck," or it was like, "Hey, it's pretty cool"?
They were like, "What the fuck," and it's pretty cool at the same time, brah. No, I'll tell you, the first show we did in New York was at a legendary club called SOBs. And we were kind of I was kind of nervous. I could speak for myself. I was kind of nervous. But, we thought we were going to, just give them something to see that was kind of different. So we did a lot of the songs, the way we would normally do them. But then when we did Pigs, we saved that one for last. And what we did was the guys went off stage, and then they came back with pig masks on. And as I'm doing the song, they're all harassing me while I'm doing the song. And it was a trip because it looked like I was getting pushed around by the pigs. But, these guys had pig masks on. So the crowd in New York, they were like, what the fuck? But they liked it because it was so stupid and different. And, it was like they didn't know what to think at first, and then they fucked with us at the very end because of that shit right there, And after that, we had, consistently been going to New York and smashing it down there because, they get it.
I mean, that's where you guys popped off first, didn't you?
Yeah, we popped it off there.
Thought you were from there, right?
Yeah, people thought we were from New York because the movement pretty much started there. We didn't really have a movement here, in the beginning. And people thought we were from New York. So, they just fucking jumped on it.
Hey, yo, Cypress.
Hey, yo, Cypress.
There's somebody else said, what do you think are some innovative ideas that could be brought up in the industry? Somebody said, for example, I imagine one day we would have an arcade lavanderia with a dab bar. You know what I mean? You know how they have that? That's pretty cool though, man. I guess he's pretty much asking, what do you think about his idea?
Stoner theater, bro.
Stoner theater?
it's a weed friendly theater. You go watch a movie and fucking smoke out. We used to bandit style that on Tuesday nights. There's a theater by my old crib that Dougie the douchebag, myself, and 2 or 3 other homies like Salam or Jay Turner, whatever, Tall Can. We'd go up to this fucking little theater and we'd bribe the fucking manager. We'd give him like a fucking $100 bill like to his head. We'd pay for our tickets and then slide him 100 and say, "Hey, don't let no one come into this room. Tell him you're sold out, whatever."
Yeah.
And he would do it because he was a fan and he was getting that extra 100 on the side, right? So we'd go in there and we'd watch our movie and smoke the fuck out. And no one ever came and said anything. So I'm saying, imagine, you know, a smoke-friendly theater. How much would they make at the fucking at the concession?
Fuck yeah.
In fucking drinks and snacks? Because like, if you got a 2-hour movie and motherfuckers are getting high through it, you're gonna get dry mouth. You're gonna get munchies. All that bullshit, man. Listen. You take my idea, motherfuckers. I'm coming out.
I'm gonna take it.
We'll be partners.
Damn, he got serious real quick. You looked at the camera real quick. You can't tell what he's looking at though. You know.
Yeah, you could never tell. It's all good.
Do it, be real.
Yeah, no, but that, like, see, shit like that, I'm waiting for that to happen because I got to imagine that is going to happen at some point. Somebody is going to fucking make a smoke-friendly theater.
That way you don't got to worry about nobody complaining. Even at the drive-in, if you go to the fucking drive-in.
I make all the theaters smoke-friendly.
If you say so, dog.
Yeah, you know, I always like sitting in the top to the left and just keep blowing the smoke towards the corner, and it creeps up. And you only see it when, like,
I mean, if you're vaping, it's easier. I mean, that shit don't smell.
You only see it when the projector hits a very bright room, and they just see the cloud, and some people will just look up. They're like, what the fuck? They're like,
I remember one time somebody ratted us out. We were watching. Okay, so this is the funny part, right? We went to go see Jackass, right?
Damn, this is not that long ago.
No, not Jackass 2 or 3 or 4, the first one. So we're going to see Jackass, and there's 4 of us, maybe 5, and this couple walks in, and the dude, you know, he's got his mother with them, and it's a grown couple, you know, they're in their 20s, but for some reason they bring grandma in there, right? Now, you've seen what happens in Jackass. Yeah. There's a whole lot of offensive type shit going on in there. Homie's sticking rockets up his ass and launching him, you know, into the sky, and, you know, sticking Hot Wheels up his ass too, and all this other stuff, right? And grandma's watching this, yet they're getting offended because we're smoking. They're not getting offended from the things being crammed up Steve-O's ass. They're offended by our weed smoke. They call the cops on us, right? And we smoke all our shit before they get there. So when they get there, well, you know, we all smoke like 4 joints. We take joints like we do now here to the head.
Damn.
Everybody would go in with a joint and, you know, like cigar smoke, right?
Remember what theater this was?
No, I'm not going to say which theater it is.
What city?
Well, it was in Granada Hills.
Oh, so AMC Granada Hills.
Right. There you go. That was it. AMC Granada Hills. Thank you, AMC. Anyway, you know, we'd fucking do this every Tuesday night. And that night we got ratted out. The cops come, and the fucking manager gives us heads up before they come in. He comes and says something to Dougie. And then he goes, "Dude, the cops are coming right now." I'm like, well, we finished smoking. We finished smoking the weed, so who gives a fuck? Nobody's got nothing, right? Because we take just 4 pre-rolls, and we'd smoke them to our head. So they were all gone. There was, you know, and this was before Funky Phil tips, so there wasn't shit left. So they come in, and they're looking for guys, and they're looking at us. "Did you smoke weed?" We're like, "Nah." They look around, and they're smoking the air, but there's nobody smoking weed. And if they had wanted to search us, we didn't have shit. So they just fucking rolled out and left. All that for nothing. But it was funny because, you know, they walked in and saw all that smoke in the theater, but we were already done smoking. And, you know, there was nothing left behind for them to pin it on any one person.
Wasted food's
and those people didn't want to fucking point us out right there because they thought we were gangbangers.
Yeah, snitches get stitches.
Yeah, so, it was just funny. And then when the cops left, we all just looked back at them. But that was some funny shit. You take your grandma to see Jackass, and you call the cops on the guy smoking weed.
Yeah, but you take
fucking
your grandma
trash
to watch Jackass though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the shit you got offended by. You got offended by the weed.
Man, that is a fucking crazy story, man. Fucking almost getting caught up, but then again, I think the cops would have eventually been like, "Hey, let's be real," especially in Granada
Possibly,
Hills.
but you can't be smoking weed in a theater.
I know, but even if you would have got arrested, what do you think? They would have just looked cool, like be like you bring you in, and be like, "Oh man, I don't want to fucking take this guy in."
I think the manager of the theater looked out for us and said, "Yeah, those guys left already. We kicked them out." Because we just acted like nothing. We're like, what's up? Yeah. You know?
Like, why are you guys stopping?
What are you guys doing here? Those guys left. Yeah, but it was cool. Stoner Theater.
That's the idea.
I would go there.
I would be there.
Yeah, I mean, would you go to the lavanderia with the dab thing, Sheik? I would. That's pretty cool.
Nah, I'd rather do my fucking laundry at home and get high at home.
For the people that have to.
Well, because you might.
if you have to,
you might get dabbed out and forget your laundry there.
That's true.
Somebody might distract you. Hey, what's up, B-Zone? What you doing? Oh, hey, I got this bomb-ass weed in the car.
That would happen.
And then you'd have a conversation. I live up the block. Let's fucking roll. Forget your fucking laundry there, dog.
Yeah, I'd get pissed off if I lost my T-shirts.
I mean, it's kind of a good idea, but not so much.
Damn, you heard it here. My phone died, so I couldn't read the response.
Shot down your idea.
Sorry, Papa.
Yo, I mean, you guys, a lot of people don't know that it's because you guys. I mean, a lot of people saw the Motley Crue movie out recently because it's out. But and a lot of people are like, oh, the Rainbow, that's that spot, so that's why they're cool with partying. But the Rainbow is it's known for the place that you can actually smoke some weed, and a lot of people don't know that the reason you're allowed to smoke some weed over there is because of you guys, like you in Cypress Hill, and you guys just didn't give a fuck and just kind of made it okay there. Is that true?
Well, we tried it, and we got away with it. And then once we got away with it, we made friends with the owners over there. There was a respect because, I mean, it was a legendary spot before we touched down there.
Was there already partying going on there?
Plenty. Years of partying, years of rock stars, legendary going down there before we touched down. But where we kicked it at, none of them were kicking it. They were like inside and in the back bar, and we took over our crowd, our scene, whatever. We took over the front patio area, and we started smoking out there, and they didn't say nothing. So, we started hanging there frequently because it was the only place anywhere that you could smoke out, and they weren't telling you shit. And the cops weren't saying nothing either. They'd, roll by and give you a look, but they'd never really done nothing as long as you had some respect and put it down while they fucking rolled through. But, that was the place that we felt the most comfortable. So we went there and we became friends with the owners, like I said, and, they respected us because we paid our bills and we tipped big. You know what I'm saying? We spent money and we tipped the staff like a motherfucker. So they were totally cool with what we were doing down there.
You hear that, people? If you're going to go to the Rainbow Stoners in the fucking outside patio, make sure you fucking tip,
Nice little tip.
A nice little tip,
Don't be cheap.
And don't fucking complain about, the shit being late. It's probably because you're not going to tip. You know what I mean?
Or it's probably because when you were smoking, you gave the goddamn waitress or server a contact. Whose fault is that?
That is very true.
That's all I'm saying.
But till this day, people, if you know what's up, you kind of know the get down there, and it's cool.
Yeah, if you go skittish, you'll never light it. But if you go boldly, like, you're one of our friends or something, they'll fucking, they turn the blind eye because realistically, it's stoner friendly. It's a new day, a new era. I mean, we're in California. It's legal.
And then now it's becoming more and more embraced, especially in that area where it's at,
Yeah, I mean, I remember times we were sitting there and sheriffs would come up while we were blazing, and they just look at us and laugh like, these motherfuckers are fucking hilarious. Look at what they're doing. You know,
They didn't even come up and be like, hey, put that shit out.
Sometimes. I remember they checked Dr. K and a couple other dudes one time because we were blazing like fucking crazy right in front of them. Three big-ass joints, and one of them comes over. Do you really need 3? Come the fuck on. Put 2 out.
Damn. You know, although
just like that.
I
I'm not
imagine all the
exaggerating.
smoke probably kept hitting them, and they were just like, "Fuck this."
Oh no, they put the 2 out. Nobody was gonna say nothing back to a sheriff because that's one thing you don't do. Because more than anything, that sheriff is from the fucking meanest, most organized, most fucked up gang, which is called the fucking sheriffs. You know, so you don't talk back to them. You just sort of be like, "Okay, sir, yeah." And
at least he let you keep one lit. You know,
they let us keep one lit. They weren't like being dicks and telling us to put all of it out. They were just like looking at us like the audacity of you motherfuckers. You guys got 3 joints just rolling out right in front of us. Put 2 out.
It's just like straight fuck you.
Oh yeah. And then, you know, Kay tried to talk his way out of something, and, you know, and he's like, no, you just be quiet. Put the 2 out.
I can imagine it. It's like, it's okay. It's okay.
It was cold-blooded, but, you know, at the same time, it was cool because he let us keep one rolling. It's just that we were creating too much smoke right there. I mean, 3 big-ass joints like the size of this one right here that I had right here. I mean, 3 of them just blasting out right there in the patio. That's a lot of smoke, so it attracts a lot of attention. You know?
I mean, that's not that long ago, but, you know, it's the fact that, you know, I mean, then again, it hasn't been legal not that long ago, you know?
Yeah.
True that, but we were smoking it over there like no tomorrow before it was. Well, I mean, you had the 215 initiative jumping, but, I mean, that only offered so much protection. I mean, we were taking chances, but, you know, it seemed like they were cool with it, and the cops that went there, you know, as long as we weren't, like, fighting and fucking causing trouble, they didn't give a fuck. They figured it pacified us, and it allowed us to spend more money because, you know, you fucking smoke, you get thirsty, you get hungry.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they loved it. You know, the cokeheads inside, they're gonna order drinks and all that stuff, but they're not gonna order the food.
Yeah, E-Zone.
They can't even
Fuck you.
they can't finish the food, so they've been doing it long enough to know I'm not ordering food. I'm just fucking ordering drinks. But the stoners outside are ordering drinks and food. Yes.
See, you know, you've been doing the smoke box for a minute. Do you think that you're ever going to attempt to do a dab box? Like, if you had 4 fucking celebrities that were just with it, they're just like, let's see how long this goes down with. Like,
The celebrities are afraid of doing dabs.
all right, fine, 4 people. You and 4 people that are, like, legit, like, you know, with it. You know, you think you could attempt to do, like, a 10-minute interview if you just did a, like, not like you taking dabs back to back, but let's just say they keep blowing that, something's blowing the smoke. You know what I mean? Kind of like a hookah.
I mean, it would be something, obviously, but
The car would get all sticky and
it would be messy though. You know what I mean? You would have to do that in a Sprinter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where there's like a fucking table in the middle so that, you know, it can be like organized.
Like
I don't
a
see.
barbecue spot.
No, I mean a Sprinter van.
But like, you know those little ovens though, if you had one of those in the middle of a Sprinter van, like, you know, like a KB.
Oh yeah, yeah, where it's got an exhaust. It's got. Oh, I see what you're saying. Fuck.
Because I've dabbed at the KBBQ spot with a straw real quick. You know, just like throw a little slab in there before they bring the meat, and just like blow it out of there. But that would be pretty cool. Or if you have
that would be.
Or if you have a little hot plate and just fucking throw it out there. A dab box, that would be that'd be next level. But I think you would eventually stop asking questions. Everybody would. Once the moment you start taking the first hit.
That's the thing about dabs. Everybody will quiet up because, you know, that shit hits you quick. Nobody's really talkative on dabs.
Yeah, like Vinny throwing up in the trash can.
You know, people tend to tone down on the dabs. You know what I'm saying? If you do too many or too big. Like if you micro dab, know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you're taking little dabs throughout. You can hang, but most people they don't micro dab.
You have a favorite kind of a dab flavor? Because you dab too, but you choose flower over dabs.
True this.
But you won't turn down a dab if it's bomb.
No, if it's bomb, no, I don't turn that shit down. I mean, fucking West Coast Cure always got some good shit.
You always like the hardcore shit. Huh?
The hardcore is good. But I mean, there's a lot of great shit out there right now. What you call it? A Blue River.
That flan.
Yeah, that shit is awesome.
That I feel like that shit was like a unicorn when we saw it, and we never saw it again.
Oh, we could see it again.
Yeah,
it's a phone call away.
Those guys gotta come back, man.
Blue River.
Those guys still gotta come back, man. They had some like shit that looked like it was just I don't even.
Yeah, that shit was awesome. Yeah.
What's the next level, dog? Are you on are you think you're gonna get go into these little lanes of more cooking shows or attempt to do something else? Because this is like you doing the whole Bong Appetit is kind of like something different than what you're used to. I mean, yeah, you've been doing this for a minute, the Be Real TV,
right,
and being in front of the camera, but you're on TV,
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I didn't know how it would pan out because I had been not wanting to do any TV for a long time, like just straight up be independent and do what we do here and do music, and obviously the cannabis industry. But I thought it was a compelling idea, to come into Bong Appetit in a competitive form, like the way that they're presenting, the chefs competing in infusing the meals and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool for entertainment. Yeah, I thought it was cool for entertainment, and I thought it was educational because people are gonna learn from that shit. And I thought, fuck it, I'll challenge myself and see if I can be a host of a show.
Will you take more offers like that? Like if the opportunity comes up?
If I feel like it's right, I felt like because this was in the cannabis lane, I could obviously do it because I mean, if it had been a regular cooking show, let's say, right? They come at me and say, "Hey, we want you to be a part of this cooking show." But it's just a cooking show. What fucking credentials do I have there? I'm not a chef. I'm somebody, who likes food, but I don't have credentials.
What if they hit you up and be like, "Yo, Guy Fieri's tired of it. Like, instead of dives and diners, it's like dabs and dispensaries. What's up? Let's do it for real."
I doubt they would get me for that. But I'm saying, that's not a bad gig to have because. Like, he goes to some bomb-ass places and tries some bomb-ass shit.
Hungry some places, like, so that he's gone in Vegas. Man, remember everywhere we went, bro, that motherfucker, he was like a dog that pisses on every fire hydrant. Every restaurant we went to, there was a poster of him like this.
Well, because that's his job. He got to find the fucking cool spots to point people out. But that's how we knew
we're on the right track, though. Like, when we went in there, we're like, oh, this is like a sign. We're going to all the bomb spots, obviously.
True that.
And they were really good. Like I wish I could eat like that every day, but I would probably have a massive stroke by 32.
True that. Yeah. What's his workout like? Because it doesn't look like he's putting any in.
Right. I've always wondered that, man. A lot of those guys don't really like, especially the guy Man versus Food.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that he stopped because of health complications, but I mean, he had a very strict workout regimen. Like, while everybody was out enjoying the town, he had to drink, like, gallons and gallons of water and work for, like, hours, bro. Like, it was fucked up.
Horrible.
Like, he even talks about it. He was like, yeah, I didn't get to enjoy Amsterdam. I didn't get to enjoy Spain.
When your job is to be a foodie and you're, like, fucking that discipline is fucked up.
Now, I kind of see why the independent route is good. Because if somebody told me, you're going to have to eat 5 times a week, I'd be like, fool, I have to 5 times.
So, nah, man, we ain't doing none of that.
That's like 10 pounds, dude. You better chill.
Yeah, you got to be on a super work. You got to have a gym everywhere you go available to you.
Yeah, like a
go work it right the fuck off that night. You go eat, go work out after that. You got the fuel.
You work out while you're on tour?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you do? You just you find a local gym, or you just fucking run
Usually,
around?
hotels have gyms and shit like that, and most of them have adequate shit there, and just use what's there and get down with it. Because the minute you stop, all that shit gets harder.
It gets done. Do you have a secret vault of like music that you've never released?
Yeah.
You ever think you're gonna? What do you like? Is there something you're waiting for? Like you're gonna make like a Wu-Tang record that's like only one of one, and like Dr. Evil buys it or something? Like
No.
You're just never gonna release those tracks.
Nope.
Do you have a hidden Space Jam track in that?
Maybe.
Like, cause you were on the soundtrack, bro. Like, is there a verse in there you made it that didn't make it?
No, not at all. I mean, through the Cypress Hill catalog, we always made extra songs, but very few of them have seen daylight. And sometimes, you might hear one little thing out there that Muggs might let go, but most of the time, all that shit is just kept for whatever reason that we might put it out later somewhere, revisit some
Like
songs.
50th anniversary?
I mean, because we wrote a lot of songs that didn't make albums, and it's not because they weren't good. It was because they didn't fit the vibe. You know what I mean? And so one day you might hear some shit you never heard.
They're in those hard drives in the studio, huh?
A couple of them, the ones that I've done, but Muggs has like the majority of them.
We checked. We actually loaded up.
Well, that's nothing in there. Like what Muggs has.
You gonna play it, Raz, dude?
He
went through those.
He has the majority of them.
We did some Nardwar shit.
I bet you did.
No, I'm just playing up. Like, you imagine you're like, nah, don't play that song. It's this song. It's the third Ice Cube song.
I wouldn't give a shit what you played, because I know it's all good.
it's the third diss song, world premiere.
World premiere. No, we never laid it down. I didn't get to it.
But a lot of people still fucking think that's all relevant. Still, it's like, hey man, you're a pacifist, man.
Yeah, no, we don't got no beef. We're cool now. We've done a number of shows together at this point. If you're talking about Ice Cube, which I know you are. Yeah, no, we've been cool for a long time. There's no beef there. Yeah.
Man,
So back in the day, I remember listening to like fucking Power 106 like during a certain time. And there's this one time you're on the air with Big Boy, and you guys got into like sort of a fucking scuffle. It sounded real to me, but you guys fucking keep saying it was a joke or whatever. But I want to know, was that
you didn't sock that fool?
Did you sock? Yeah, did you sock that fool?
Like square up, dude.
Square up, Doc. Nah, that was like a April Fool's joke. It was an April Fool's joke. He called me the night before and said, "Hey, I want play a prank."
I'm calling you
on the listeners. So I'm calling you from Universal City Nissan, and
Can you imagine if you started that phone call with that?
I'm gonna give you a truck if you get down with this joke. No, nah, he wanted to play a prank on the city, and a hell of a prank it was. We had a conversation the night before on what the topic would be and what the trigger word was, and when that happened, it was something about his sister. I was joking around, and I said something, and he got sensitive about it, and then I kept pressing, and he got more sensitive, and then, we started having some words. And see, it's radio, right? There's no visual at this point, so people are hearing it, and they're in their imagination hearing Big Boy and I, like, talking shit to each other right there in the studio. And, I got to say, the crew there and myself, we fucking skilled that right, because we made it seem like we were about to, pop off in a fight, but nobody cursed. Nobody cursed. That's how you know it had to be fake. If you were really listening in between the lines, there was no cursing there. And who fucking starts getting live with someone without, a curse in there, an expletive, right? Hey, fuck you, dog. Don't be talking to me like that, motherfucker. There was none of that.
Especially you two guys from the hood,
Yeah, I would have thought you guys would have been cussing.
If people would have like listened and really thought about it, they would have like, nah, these two motherfuckers got to be fucking around, But we were very convincing. We used like the shake in the voice type of thing, like so that you really heard some anger there or some emotion. It was funny. And Liz, Luscious Liz, she played her role and was screaming like there was a real fight in there. and fuzzy, you know. He sounded like he was actually trying to break up a fight.
You guys fooled me.
Yeah, it was good, man. We had Big and I had people calling us within minutes. Yo, you need backup. I could be right there right now.
Both of you guys?
Both of us, yeah. He had to tell his people that it was a joke, and I had to tell my homies, like, nah, man, we're joking around. It's cool. We're not. There's no fucking beef right here.
I asked Joe about that yesterday.
We let it go for a day, and then the next day we had to let people know it wasn't real because, you know.
They said the phone lines were blowing up because yesterday I did an interview and Joe Grande. I asked him, I was like, hey, were you there? And then he was like, yeah, I was. And he was like, the phone lines literally disconnected because people were calling up to be like, hey, man, fuck such and such. And fuck, like, when they were screening the phone calls, like, people were just like, what the fuck's going on? You guys definitely fooled a lot of people, man.
Yeah, because we like really sold it, man. It was almost like we really got mad at each other, but we didn't because we were laughing right when we went off the air and it went into commercial. We were fucking laughing our asses off. But at the time when it was going down, we were making noise on the tables, like moving shit around like there was a scuffle there. You know, and I believe the jump off was, he was like, man, I told you to quit playing around with me and quit joking around. Da, 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 da. You know, you don't quit fucking around. I'm going to come over there. I said, I don't got no bodyguards right here, homie.
Yeah, I'm here by myself.
I'm here by myself. What you want to do? And then, fuck you.
Yeah, you guys did sound angry. It was like y'all were hitting each other up and shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Don't be talking about my family like that, partner.
Hey, it was a good sell, bro. Because to this day, I'll get people that ask about that shit and be like, hey, man, did you and Big really fight? Or was that a joke? Like, man, that was a joke, dog.
There you go. I know a lot of people asked that, especially before my phone died.
Yeah.
But I saw that question pop up a couple more times, so
yeah,
it's on there.
That's my dog. I would never fight with Big.
He smokes?
Yeah, now and then. Trying to get him in the smoke box, but we'll see what happens.
Gotta find him at Universal City, bro.
I mean, I got Mike Tyson before I got Big Boy. I mean, come on, Big.
There's a couple more people that, I mean, man, you've gotten some pretty legendary people in there, man.
We need Willie Nelson.
Yeah, let's get Willie.
Even if I got to take this thing on a goddamn tow truck down to Texas.
And get on his bus.
And get on his bus.
It's like, Willie, ain't going
listen,
nowhere.
Willie, listen, I towed the car all the way from Los Angeles. I need you to get in it. We don't got to take a ride. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
you've been doing this like pretty much 30 years now, and I mean hip hop. It's still fucking. It's not really that old, you know, in a sense. I mean, do you see yourself still fucking doing this shit like at 60?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm a little ways away from that, but I mean, if I'm in shape to do it and I still love to do it, and people, we still got fans that want it, perhaps. But like, you know, by that time I might get into something else. I don't know.
Word.
But I mean, when you're an artist and you do music and you're still able to do it, and you're still creative enough to do it, I don't think it's like there's a time limit to it. It's till when you don't feel like you can or want to do it.
Maybe not. I don't like. What about not the rapping, but like you're a rock and roll star now, you know, like so like, you know, fucking Tyler's still out there fucking doing Good Day LA at fucking 103, you know, like, you know, you can pretty much keep fucking doing it, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm of the mind frame that you can do it as long as you want to do it. You know, if it's still fun, if physically you're able, you know, you can go as long as you want to. It's just with hip hop, it's a little bit harder. You have to, you know, figure out how you sustain that longevity to be able to do it that long. Because I mean, you know, God bless hip hop and all that, but sometimes the fans are like, you know, on one thing and then on to another, and they sort of tend to forget unless you're lucky enough to build, you know, a loyal fan base, and that's not always the case, you know. And even so, no matter how loyal it is, that fan base grows up, and it drops off a little bit. So it's tougher, than any other genre to stick around in hip hop.
It's not like rock bands, like
yeah.
If Van Halen decides to fucking pop up and do some shit, I mean,
yeah,
people will be there. That shit will sell out.
Yeah,
still.
rock and R&B are like that.
Fucking Hall & Oates and fucking Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac still selling out shows and shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
those timeless. So it's like I think it does have more of a
there's
legacy,
there's a few of us that have that, but it should be more. And, but that's according to the fan
and again,
base.
rock is not so saturated with all these new artists.
That's true.
Like,
That's true. It's not
have,
oversaturated like hip hop and rap is.
Like if I go on Apple search and I just type in the word LIL, there's like a billion options that come out at the bottom, like
or young.
Or young, yeah. So I'm just, I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
Lil or young.
I'm like fishing in the most fucking. There's like one fish left out there, and like there's like a billion hooks.
Yeah, that's real shit.
You should learn how to play the guitar, Shiki.
Yeah.
Like
learn how to play the guitar or drums.
Something, man. But hey, man, we've chopped it up here with you for an hour, man, and you usually leave here by this time, and I thank you for your time. Dog.
Word.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
I bet it's
good
not
questions.
the typical questions people ask you because they're probably like, no, I don't want to ask B Real that shit.
No, those were good.
You go, so now you can get the answers to some of those questions here.
Word.
We're gonna take a break here. I know we don't smoke the same show. We'll be back with some shit that we're gonna talk here with Shiki, and then we're gonna get into close out with DJ C minus instead of DJ C Rock because he's out there doing his thing as a DJ somewhere.
Hey.
Mr. Bud and Sheik.
Now let's move on to other business.
Fucking jerk.